What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Dating. I'm your host, Zakka, and today I have another guest. I have Sam. He's back for another episode, and this is going to be more of an episode where guys are going to be looking at TikTok videos and we're answering questions that women are going to be asking. But we got to start off with a topic that, if you watch a previous video, I end up talking about, like, man, I need a dude's perspective on this. Well, there's two things. The first part is this first half of this video is going to be about intimacy when it comes to men. But in a question that a lady asked, and then another one about IG and Instagram and liking pictures that we're gonna dive into. From there, it's gonna be TikTok, and then we're gonna do Am I the Jerk from Reddit. So, Sam, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So this first one, you guys seen my reaction to before, but this is from tonight's conversation again. And we're gonna hop into it right, let's out the way, right now.
Why do y'all start relationship conversations or?
Quit believing when these men are saying, I just want to. What they're searching for is intimacy. I'm telling you, and they don't know how to explain it. They think it makes them soft for saying it, but if it was just sex, they'd pay for it. No, seriously, it's the connection. It is you coming over.
Explain it.
It's more to it. You're not just showing up naked and leaving. Most likely y'all talking, y'all texting, y'all might go on a date. Most likely when you do come over, y'all cuddle a little bit, y'all watch a movie. It is that intimate connection that he wants paramount. And the sex is the plus.
So is it access to a woman?
Access to having intimacy from a woman.
Okay.
But you do not desire the work of a relationship. So what you do is you get the milk and you lease the cow. And y'all be mooing for these.
Alright, so what are your thoughts on that, about like men wanting intimacy, and that's why they tell women that they want a relationship, but they hooking up with ladies?
I don't know. That's kind of tough. Intimacy is kind of a weird thing. I think it means something very different to a lot of different people. I think that, I don't know, trying to put myself in that mindset, I think maybe the big thing is that, you know, if I'm doing something like that, I am looking to find a actual connection with somebody. And, you know, of course, the talking stage of a relationship is important. The relationship itself is very important, but there are other aspects that make a relationship whole for both partners. And I think that, you know, sex kind of falls into that category where if two people are not compatible, the relationship is not compatible. You know, there are things that people can overlook, but that's one thing that if two people are not on the same page, then there can't be a successful relationship from that. So that's just my thought.
Okay, so that's a different viewpoint to take it, because like she was saying, like, why do guys like ask for, like, they want to pretend to be a relationship when they don't want the relationship? And I don't, like, my answer to her would be like, because they're looking for sex. But the dude, that guy was saying, like, well, man, not looking for sex, looking for intimacy. He, like, the guy's not coming over to just to, you know, hook up and then leave. He's coming over to maybe cuddle a little bit, watch a movie, and then, but also if that dude knows how to play the game and understand that women are not looking just for a hookup, they're looking for, you know, more than that. They can look for, like, hey, we're looking for a partnership, like you're saying, like a connection, compatibility, and they do understand, well, if I just come over and cuddle a little bit, then have sex, I can leave. Like, I think the end goal is the sex for that guy. It's not the actual, you know, relationship, but he knows that she wants a relationship. So therefore he's gonna pretend to be a part of that relationship until he gets sex and not commit, because he doesn't have to, because there's no establishment of a relationship.
I don't agree. Well, and I agree with everything you're saying. I guess I just don't agree with that mindset. To me, that mindset doesn't make sense, probably because I'm not that kind of person to go looking for something like that. You know, if I am planning on having sex with somebody, it's not because that's all I'm looking for. It's because, you know, I've found something in that person that I genuinely like, and I want to spend time with that person. So yeah, I guess, yeah, that's maybe my issue, is that I don't fully understand that mindset. So it's hard for me to kind of speak to that. But that being said, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of think that's a dirtbag move.
No, it is. It's definitely not a good move to use a lady for. The reason I'm talking to you because I just want to have sex. I not really want anything more out of this relationship than that. And one way for a lady to, like, okay, how do you avoid running into that guy? How do you avoid when dating age, or the world of dating, you're meeting people on the apps, meeting people in person, and stuff like that nature. You're going to come across more men who are about that because the fact that you're, like I said multiple episodes before, you're not going to be the perfect fit for every person. You're going to be the perfect fit for the person that matches you the most, or the best fit for the person that matches you the most, that you're compatible with. But in order to find that, you have to put yourself out there and date around. Not saying you have to hook up with everybody, but at least go on a few dates with people. See, like, okay, how this first date goes. I don't like it. I'm out. Versus sticking around like, the first date wasn't that great. I might give it a second date. Okay, but then the second date should tell you right then and there, nah, I'm good. Versus, I'm gonna go on a third date, and then the third date, usually most people, is first date, second date, third date, hookup. People fall in that pattern, because usually been the first month, or first date having 1 week, next week, second date, next third week, third date.
Move on from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like, you know what? And I don't ever tell somebody, like, you shouldn't have sex when you don't want to have sex when you feel like having sex. You want to have sex, you want to hook up, go for it. But understand that guy's perspective, if he's in it for sex, not saying the longer you make him wait, but if you make him, I don't like the way you're making him wait for it, but you make him wait, or at least ask him what his intentions are and watch his actions, then you know right then and there that he's in it for more than just sex.
Yep.
Like, you ask, like, depending on when, and also another thing, look into, when is he messaging you? He's messaging you at 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, like, hey, what you up to, what you doing? How many places are open for you, like, go get ice cream, or go to a museum, or go do things that you're, like, in public? How many things are open at, like, 10 or 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
It's a handful. Maybe, a few places, and also depending on his schedule. He gets off work at 5 p.m. and he's hitting you up at, 9 p.m. or 8 or 11 or 9 and 11. You know, yeah, like, he's in it for more mostly sex, or just a more physical connection that's not involving an actual relationship. Now, can he change? Yes and no. I said on another episode that the girl asked, she's like, why do guys fumble the bag? And I was like, men don't fumble the bag. Men, we know it, we just don't want to commit to it. It's not that we fumble it. We know what we want. We just, I don't want to hold it. I'm not fumbling. I just don't want it. Yeah, I'm going to walk away. So the dude wants to actually date you and actually get to build a relationship with you. He's not going to hit you up at the late hours of night. He's going to be putting more effort in. He probably talk to you out the day. He probably ask, hey, what are you doing at 7 p.m.? Let's go to this spot. Let's go to this restaurant. Let's go to this amusement park. Let's go to, whatever it is you guys want to do, arcade, wherever it is. He's going to ask. You're going to go and probably somewhere in public at first. He's not going to bring you back to this place right out the bat. Yeah. Because that can even lead to more of a, hookup situation. You're comfortable in your own place. Hooking up, like.
Yeah. Long story short, a guy's intentions and a guy's actions will speak. Well, a guy's actions will speak to his intentions very early on, and you can usually identify just based on some of the actions what it is they're in for. It's like Ali said, if a guy's hitting you up in the late hours of the night, there's usually only a handful of reasons why somebody would do that. But if he's actually trying throughout the course of a day, and you're hearing from him throughout the course of a day, I don't know. For me personally, I don't really like texting. I don't like having to constantly maintain contact with somebody. So if I'm maintaining contact with you, it's because I genuinely like you and I genuinely want to hear from you. And that's not going to be the case if I'm just looking for a hookup.
Right. And even contact up a day, like, it don't even have to be a text, because that's one people get in the trap. Well, he's not texting me. If he calls you, maybe like throughout the day while he's on break or lunch, or while he's took off of work and he's heading home, he gives you a call or FaceTime, like the way where it doesn't have to be the full day, but at least like, hey, a good morning text, hi, how you doing? And then he FaceTimes you on his way, while he's sitting at home real quick and doing something, or call you like that, versus just hitting you up late at night. Like his intentions and his actions gonna show his intentions. So she's like, why do guys just constantly want to hook up but pretend to be in a relationship and they want to hook up? Those dudes are literally looking after sex, and you have to pretty much watch his actions and see what he's doing to get you into the position where he's like, hey, want to cuddle and watch a movie? You can say no to that. You don't have to go over, because where are you gonna watch a movie at? Theaters, he's paying for it, but like, how often you're going to the theaters? You ain't going to the theaters every night.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah. And to go back to it, the dude said intimacy. There are guys who want intimacy. I one of those guys. Like
Me too.
Okay, because like I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but yeah, intimacy is something that like it didn't really hit me personally until it's always been there. Really, to like, okay, I want somebody to go out and do things with. I want somebody to go out and like be close with, and go on adventures and do certain stuff with, not just sit at home. To me, intimacy for me, and then like you said, it's different for every guy, but it's not just sex. It's a part of the pie, but it's not the whole thing. Like, it's physical, it's emotional, it's emotional, mental go in the same pie, and then it's sexual. Like, there's intimacy that way, but sex is a big part, but it's not the only thing. And if you have a guy who is like, oh, intimacy for me is 100% sex, that's not a guy to be around.
And that's also not intimacy.
Yeah.
That's just sex. That's completely different.
I think one of the best ways to learn about this and learn about somebody's communication skills is the 5 love language. And you learn how somebody likes to be intimate in that way. Like, for me, physical touch and quality time is the way I like to express intimacy and express, my appreciation and love for somebody. But somebody else's love language is like, gift giving. That's how they probably express their intimacy and express like, hey, I thought of you in this way. So those are things to think about when you're looking for somebody who wants to be intimate versus just, I want to hook up, and don't fall for that trap. So he was like, oh, guys want to be intimate. That's why. No, I don't agree with him at all. All right. Next video here. This is from the Joy Box. And see what they got to say coming up right now.
Should men be shamed for looking at baddies on Instagram?
Please, I know you're right on this. Please tell me.
Shame? For looking at baddies? 100%.
Wait, hold on. Whoa. Why should I be ashamed for looking at baddies?
Because watch like a normal man. Girls not real, okay? Is not real. There's a line. You're there to satisfy your urges. Instagram is real life, and you shouldn't be around with that. If I'm watching porn, I'm after. That's
How do you tell?
Like, look, look, porn is girl you don't know. Instagram is like more personal. You follow that chick, right? That means you met her.
If I see an Insta baddie online, sorry, I'm liking it. You do enough things with the photographer and looking good. I appreciate photography. You understand?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I might triple flame emoji off my media account.
Dude,
so you don't know it's me.
I ain't commenting, but I will be commenting on porn all day long.
No, hold on. You comment on porn, my friend?
Bro, you got
You need help.
Oh my god.
All right. So to that question, I was like, to me, a guy who's single, there should no shame whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
go like whoever you want. Go for it. Like, and a guy who's in a relationship, I think there should be no shame behind it either. But also, like, there should be communication with your, significant other. Like, hey, I follow these Instagram accounts. Like, that's what it is. But also at the same time, how many Instagram accounts do you need to follow? Like, how many? Because this dude, the second guy, or the dude who said he watches,
Adult videos.
adult video. Thank you. I was like, adult content. I don't know. Maybe because I'm not looking at Instagram models that way, where I'm like, oh, he got to get his rocks off. Like, that's what adult content is for. But the other guy is like, I look at the camera angle, the lighting, all that stuff. I don't think every guy, unless you're a photographer, not every guy is looking at that. So there has to be an extent of number of ladies you're following. Like, if you go through as a guy, you go through your Instagram, you're following 200 women, and they're all Instagram models who are not doing like any fitness advice, not doing any workout videos or anything that really like benefits or add like That's a new technique. I'm gonna go work that, try that in the gym. Or that's a new meal. I'm gonna try to cook that. If you're not getting that, you're just seeing another pic of her, just another booty pic and a booty pic and a booty pic and a booty pic, and you're like, what are you there for? Like, as your girlfriend or your wife is seeing your booty pic wearing that same outfit,
right.
I think that's perfectly fine. Hey, babe, I like this swimsuit. Can you try that on? I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah.
I think there should be shame, but there is an extent. What do you think?
So in a relationship, it's kind of like what you were saying. In a relationship, there should be boundaries, and those boundaries need to be discussed by both people. And I agree with Ali 100%. Like, if you're in a relationship and your only focus on Instagram are pictures like that, then yeah, I think that, yes, to a degree, that should be shamed. But on the other hand of it too, you know, the women who are taking these pictures and taking these videos and putting them out there for social media are putting them out there specifically for exposure. And not necessarily because they want to expose themselves, but, you know, again, it is an art form. It is another medium for people to express their artistic creativity.
And make money off of it too.
And make money, yeah. And we all love money. So I think that, you know, when you're putting your art out there, then no, there shouldn't be shame in appreciating the art. Some people can go into a museum, they look at a picture, they see the picture, say, hey, that's a really pretty picture. And then there are other people who are like, wow, look at the brush strokes, look at the texture, look at the lighting, and are really able to identify different parts of that painting that make it exceptional. Neither person is wrong in how they appreciate the art, they just appreciate it differently. And there is nothing wrong with that, so long as you're, you know, working within the bounds of the boundaries that you have set. When you're single, no, I don't think you should be shamed. That's, why not?
Right. And ladies, go, if you got a guy who's like, well, I'm looking at Instagram models, you can go look at Instagram models too. Go for it.
Yeah.
Find dudes who in the suits and ties, who comb beard and brush hair and all that, you know, wherever it is that, ladies, wherever your thing is, runway models, dudes walking down, go for it.
Yeah. You want to see a guy with a dad bod who's, you know, got his kids on his back, and if that, you know, gets you going, then that gets you going. No shame in that.
No shame in that.
Go find it.
Now, there was one thing he did say. He was like, the girl you follow on Instagram, you know her. Now, if a dude is following somebody on Instagram and he like right down the street from her and she's a model and he's following every pic like that, unless I would ask, like, do you know her before the relationship or do you find her after the relationship? Because that, if singles, go for it. If you're shooting your shot, go for it. But if you're in a relationship and you follow this person, unless you know them through like work, the gym, wherever it may be, they're like, oh no, this girl just happened to be in Kansas City. I just ended up following her. Like, I'll be like, why though?
Yeah.
Like, because the dude was like, it's too close to home. That's one thing he was saying. He was like, it's too close to home. Like, at least with a dope model, like he doesn't know who she is. Like,
yeah.
It's some,
yeah.
Like, you know the name, but you don't know who that person is personally versus...
It's the same thing as like following an actor.
Yeah.
It's you know, you know them, you know they're a real person and they exist, but there's that wall that kind of separates, you know, what would be fantasy and reality.
Mm-hmm. So I do say, like, he had a point where he was like, oh, they're down the street. Not all the time. Like, I guess it depends. You live in Los Angeles, maybe they are down the street.
Right.
Like, that could be different. But like here in the Midwest, we're not following somebody who is like, oh, I'm following this person. They're like right down the street next to the beach. There's no beach in Kansas City. Like, it just sadly is not. But
not any worth visiting anyway.
I did say I had to get another guy's perspective on it. And Sam, thank you for your perspective.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go ahead and knock out some more Instagram videos here. Not Instagram, sorry, TikToks. Here we got like a handful that we're gonna dive into. So here we go. This video is from Chris K Music 2. So let's see what she's talking about. She's talking about, why do men do this?
I don't know if I'm the only woman who experiences this, but when I'm with men, they just have to make it their mission to constantly point out how attractive other women are when they're with. Like, it's always, oh, look, she's bad as fuck, or oh, she's so hot, or the things I would do to her. Constantly talking about other women they find attractive while they're with me. And I'm like, imagine if I were to just sit here and talk about all the guys I find attractive. Like, I just never understand the point of that. Like, we're hanging out, and you're constantly pointing out how sexy other women are or how much you like other women when you're with me. Like, I'm not understanding that. And then another thing that I hate is they're constantly talk about their exes. Oh, I'm still in love with my ex, so I would marry my ex. Like, then why are we sitting here right now? Like, why are you talking to me? But I really never understand why men talk about other women so much that they're attracted to when they're with me. I don't know if I'm the only woman who experiences this.
All right.
I have some feelings.
Okay, go for it. I'll let you take this one first.
I'm sure that people actually do this. This seems insane to me. Like, if you're in a relationship with someone, that someone is your focus. Now, I've been in a relationship with both me and my ex. We could appreciate both men and women together. That's different. And there's almost like a playful banter, playful back and forth, but that's also an established boundary in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that established boundary, then it's just simply not okay. You're in a relationship. Your eyes shouldn't be wandering outwards unless you're doing it with your partner as a fun little activity together. And then, being hung up on your ex, if you're still hung up on your ex, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Right.
It's that simple. You can't, if you're entering in a relationship, you should be entering in your best self. And if you are not at your best self for any reason, whether you're still hung up on a relationship, whether you're still, your priorities aren't straight, you're not at your best, then you really shouldn't be entering in a relationship and forcing somebody else to put up with you who's not at your best. Those are my feelings.
Good point, sir. I actually thought she was talking about dudes not in a relationship with her, but in situationships with people she's talking to. Mm-hmm. They're not established a relationship. They haven't defined the relationship yet.
Okay.
Because there's either two ways I looked at this. It was that way, or they're her friends. Mm-hmm. Which they're her friends. The first part sounded like when she first started saying like when guys around me, they were talking about the other women. So it sounded like, oh, they're her friends. They're like, hey, I like her. I think she's cute, whatever the case may be. But then she further goes on, they're not friends. They're dudes that she is legit talking to, that hookup situation. She's in that boat. That's what she's in. She's in the part where she's talking to dudes who are hooking up with her, but they're not saying like, oh, they're not committed to her. They're like, oh, I know that girl over here looks fine. That girl over here looks fine. Or they're like, oh, my ex is this, my ex is that. She, I hate to say it, could be a side piece and doesn't even know it. Because like the dudes are, I know it's a dark topic here, but like the dudes are talking about their exes all the time. Watch like every guy she's with, they're talking about their ex. Oh, my ex done this, my ex did this, my ex. She's like, look at me, I'm here, I'm
literally in front of you.
I'm literally in front of you. I can treat you better than all these other women that you complain that don't treat you right. But yet you're not looking at me in that sense because they're not looking at her in that way. They're looking at her as she's the side chick, she's somebody that's to hook up with, somebody to have fun with, but not somebody to commit to. And when she finds that out and realizes like, okay, I'm not going to talk to these men who just want to talk to me just my body, or just want to talk to me because I feel that void of loneliness, but they don't want to commit to. It's not always up to her, but a relationship is two ways. Like it's both sides. So she would have to define her, and this is for anybody out there, you have to define what you're looking for. If you do not want to be around men who talk about their exes, say, hey, I'm not going to put up with that. Like, it's cool if we're, you want to talk and you want something serious. All right, I'm good, I'm down with that, but do not talk about your exes around me. Don't tell the person they can't talk about it. Like, hey, let them know, like, I don't want to hear about your exes. I understand, but like, they're your exes. We're here. We're the present. But if you still hung up on your ex, at this point, I personally cannot move forward with you in a relationship. Just letting you know. And that dude be like, well, okay. Well, I didn't realize I was talking about my ex so much. So I guess I'm going to go reflect on myself. Or he'd be like, oh, I want to talk about my ex, but can we hook up? No. Like she had to define the relationship in a situation to prevent those guys from being those dudes who looking at other women all the time when they're with her. Like, if they're with her, and they're looking at other women left and right and talking about those women openly in front of her. And like you said, they has no establishment of what the relationship is. And they're like, oh, no, she points at a girl and they point at like, it's none of that. And she's in there like, side-eyeing him every moment.
Right.
She's not the one and she needs to get out of a relationship. She's like, hey, I'm not doing this. Sorry, that's something you want to do, go for it. I do not want to be the lady in a relationship where my man is constantly looking around and talking about other women instead of, focus on me. And the guy who really wants to invest in you, he won't do that. He's not gonna sit there and look at other women and like, oh, look at her, look at her, look at her, look at her. No, he's gonna respect you so much where he won't even do that. Now, if you pointed out to like, hey, look at him, look at her, look at him, look at her, and he's like, oh yeah, okay, I see what you're talking. But a dude's not gonna openly do that in front of his significant other that he appreciates and values. She needs to find a man who value her and not hang around with those guys. And the only way to do that, she has to define what she wants. So y'all, the advice, don't put in the same boat she is. Define what you want. Define what you're looking for, and say like, this is my boundary, my standard. I won't put up with that, and that's perfectly fine. Once again, dating, you're not dating trying to date 100,000 people. You're trying to meet the person that best fit you.
Yep.
And the person that best fits you won't do that.
This is a short life, and you only have so much time available to you. Don't waste your time trying to make somebody something else. That person is, more than likely not going to change. If what you're looking for is something very specific, be honest about that. Be forthright about that. And if that person that you're with isn't what you're looking for, then it's best to just part ways. Despite how much you might like each other, despite how good the chemistry is, that is just an incompatibility that will shatter a relationship. And trying to force people to change for you is only going to build resentment, and is only going to harm the relationship in the long run. People don't change for other people, they change for themselves. And we should stop trying to change each other and just be honest about what the expectation is. And then give the other person an opportunity to back out if they don't think that they're going to fill that role.
Good talk. All right, got another video here. This is from Inky Talks. She goes, what do guys talk about? So let's see what she got to say.
What do
dating
men
advice, apparently,
talk about to other men? I was at a bar this weekend and I was sitting and talking next to 3 guys, and I was like, oh, how do y'all know each other? They're like, oh, we're friends, we met in LA. And I was like, oh, cool, so they know each other. So I was like asking them questions, chit-chatting, and every like 3rd question a guy would answer, and then the other 2 would be like, no way, man, like I didn't know that about you. And then like 2 minutes later, again, I would like bring something else up, and the other guys would be like, no way, like I had no idea, that's so cool. And it happened a few times. Then finally I was like, y'all are friends? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, you met today? And they're like, no, we've known each other for months. And it made me giggle, and I said to them, I was like, men are so funny, because in literally 10 minutes of conversation, like y'all have learned so much about each other just because of my like question asking skills. And I was like, what do you talk about when you hang out? And they laughed back. They were like, you're not wrong, but like we just hang out for the vibes, like it's just fun energy, And I was like, totally same, y'all have great energy, but like you just sit there and look at each other. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like I feel like I can go to the girls' bathroom and like have a heart-to-heart with someone in the 4 minutes that I'm in there. So I think I brought this group of guy friends closer together, but seriously, I still have the question.
Want to replay it again so you can hear the first part of it, or?
I think I got the gist.
Okay.
Basically, what do guys talk about whenever they're together, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause she was like, I was at the bar, and they're like, these 3 dudes was hanging out with each other, but they was like not really. She didn't really have a deep conversation. So she was asking conversation like, how you not know this about each other? The answer to her question, what do guys talk about? It could really be anything and everything and about the environment. Like we don't get really deep on like deep level. Like we don't go and spill the tea. Like you wouldn't believe what happened to so and so last week. We don't do that. Like we first came in, he had Game of Thrones on his shirt, and we had a whole conversation about 10 minutes off camera about Game of Thrones.
House of the Dragon, baby.
House of Dragon. Like it's we will talk about anything that could be what we're in a bar, sports bar, the game is on, we're talking about the game. We're talking about, what movie we just watched, what TV, like it's almost things that just more entertainment and hobby-wise versus interpersonal conversation. And maybe because, I don't know, we just, as men, just wasn't taught to really talk about emotions and talk about like what's going on in life and all my, like now your good friend, they're going through something, they'll come and talk to you. You don't have to sit there and be like, hey, you seem off today. Is everything okay? No, like they will come and say, hey, I need some advice. This is what's going on. Thoughts. Like, and generally, it takes about 6 months, maybe to a year before a dude start doing that. Usually the surface level is just like, hey man, how's it going? Did you see that game yesterday? Oh, heck yes, I saw that game yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, what's your thoughts on that?
So I'm not going to speak specifically to what guys talk about because I know everybody's a little bit different. I can only really talk to what I talk about with my guy friends. And it's like Ali said, a lot of it is very like hobby and entertainment based. That's where like the foundation of most male friendships start in my experience. And then it just kind of builds off of there. You know, some of my best friends that I have, you know, we became friends because of our mutual love of Star Wars. And then we started hanging out more, we started talking more, and then we realized we had so much other stuff in common. And every single time we hung out, it was always a good time because we liked a lot of the same things. Of course, now we're at the point of our friendship where I can talk about anything. I can, you know, if I'm struggling with something, you know, I can go to him and I can ask him his advice. It may be bad advice, may be good advice, but, you know, at least I can have that conversation. And so, you know, and then I take a look at some of the friendships that I have with women, and I feel like that women, because there's almost an expectation for a more emotional connection, there usually is more emotional conversations that are kind of attached to that friendship. So, you know, I've made friends with plenty of women in the past, and I've had those emotional conversations with plenty of women in the past, but it doesn't outweigh the I guess the weight of, you know, my best friends who are men. Those friendships feel far more real to me because there's just I feel like it's a more solid foundation. I don't need my best friends to come and to talk to me about what's going on in their lives, or you know, me talking to them about what's going on in my life. I don't have to do that. I choose to do that. There is no expectation that I have to have those emotional conversations. There's no expectation that I have to open up emotionally to anybody. And I think that alone makes my friendships with men stronger because we have other things to talk about outside of that.
That's solid. Yeah, that's solid. Like, I think that's really much answered her question. She was like, how do you guys not know? Like, I'm pretty sure somebody asked us questions and we're like, I didn't know that about you. I don't know, right. but then like when it comes to like, okay, what's your thoughts on Luke Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 7?
I got a lot to say. A lot.
Or Episode 8, sorry, not 7, but 8. It's a whole fledged, like, if you want to get a room of guys and you want to learn about who they are and how they like to react to things, ask them anything about sports or nerdy stuff. Like, and you will find out real quick who the sports heads are and who the nerdy heads are. And I'm pretty sure, because nowadays everybody watch Avengers, be like, so Spider-Man. Everybody everybody has their opinion on, hey, Tobey Maguire, no, Tom Holland is,
Andrew Garfield,
Miles Morales, Into the Spider-Verse,
Hell yeah.
Like, it's the conversation, but then you're like, all right, how many of y'all out there is dealing with like an emotional issue with a girl and trying to figure out how to solve it?
And suddenly everybody's looking down at the ground.
Yeah, like, oh, and then also because I guess guys always competition wise try to one up each other, like, shit, my relationship's going fine. I don't know about y'all. Y'all saying shit. I ain't got no problems going on.
Yeah, that guy's fucking bullshitting.
You will get a dude in the room like, I don't know shit. I'm good. Like, hey, I'm gonna get my wife right here. You know? In reality, him and his wife don't talk to each other at all, and they're just going through it. But he's like, nah, I'm over here with the Jonases. Like, they're all doing good. I'm doing good too. Like, it's just how we operate, But definitely, if a lady come up and ask us a question, we might open up more and have that conversation. There's an episode where a dude was saying like he felt like he had more intimacy, more personal conversation with women who was in relationships than women who were single. And one, I was like, the reason why the women in relationships were having more personal conversation with you, because one, you probably asking questions about like, hey, how do I find a lady to talk to and have a solid relationship? But also, they already have somebody. Yeah. There is no I'm gonna embarrass myself. There is no, that wall is already down, so they're gonna be more open and honest with you about, hey, this is what's going on. So yeah, like you said, like when guys talk to women, there's more that, not all men have it, but you'll see guys be a little more emotional talking to a lady versus him talking to his friend about, yo, he said the Chiefs game Patrick Mahomes last night.
That can get pretty emotional too.
Man.
So.
Man. All right, let's go ahead and keep this train moving. Got another video here. And we're gonna go back to lighten the mood, but let's see what this girl talked about. Why do guys do this? So this is from Dilly Bop. And let's see what you got.
No, you know what tickles my bones in the wrong way? The fact that me and this dude have so much in common. We both play basketball. We both have the same taste in music. We make each other laugh. We smack talk back and forth. We have the same taste in like movie genres. And he settles for a girl who he just finds hot. Now, if that don't sound crazy to me, I don't know what does. Guys? What is wrong with you? Like, how are you gonna settle for a chick that you just find hot? Like, you have nothing in common with her, but you just find her attractive. When you could have a best friend for life. I'll give you a scenario for your future, dog. You're gonna watch your favorite football team go against the Steelers, and you're gonna be yelling at the Steelers the entire time, and she's just gonna be sitting there, being like, oh, go your team. I, on the other hand, will freaking roast your team because I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a diehard Steelers fan. Which one would you rather have? Think about that.
Okay. So, when I was younger...
Story time?
When I was younger, not necessarily story time, but when I was younger, I could definitely see this mindset. You know, I got into relationships with women not because I had things in common with them, although, you know, over the course of a relationship, you find things in common. But the initial attraction was that just that. It was attraction. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what brings you to somebody. And even now, in the current climate, I mean, especially with dating apps, you're not flipping through dating apps and immediately looking at the bio. People start at the pictures. Because there has to be that physical attraction initially to attract you to somebody. However, at the age that I am at now, I'm not going to pick that person that is just attractive. I'm going to pick that person that I have more in common with. Because I've been through that phase of my life where I've been with women who I don't have anything in common with. And you're right, it's boring. Mm-hmm. It's really, really boring, and it's almost disheartening because, you know, I want so badly to share some of these things with somebody, and I know I'm not going to find somebody who shares all the same things that I have in common because that would be boring too. But I want to find somebody who is going to at least have some of the same interests as I do. And if I can't find that, I'm going to try to find something else because I want to be able to share those parts of my life with somebody. Instead of just being able to... Beauty fades. Inevitably, beauty will fade. Mm-hmm. But those things that bring two people together, those things that you have in common, those are going to be the things that last the test of time.
No, 100%. No, that's a very good, solid answer to her question because maybe she's dating dudes around her age, or talking to younger dudes who physical attraction where we're stuck on. Mm-hmm. Versus the older you get, you realize, like you said, beauty fades over time, and you're looking to meet. Because like for me, I'll date to marry. I am dating to marry, so I'm thinking like, and I'm an overthinker. So if we're talking for 2 months and we don't have anything in common, then that's like you're looking at like, what would 50 years look like with this person? Yep. And I'm geeking out like, oh my gosh, Iron Man 75 just came out.
Iron Man 75.
And she was like, Okay, well, or like watching a sports game like, oh my gosh, the Chiefs just won another Super Bowl. Let's go. And she was like,
Yeah.
Oh God. Like, or hey, want to get people over to watch the game? Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna cook and grill and get everybody together. I want to have a big event watching. It's NFL kickoff. We gotta get together. Or Super Bowl, we have to get together. Like, nah, we're not doing that. Like, I will be miserable. Like, you're right. Like, you want somebody to have, the older you get as a guy. And so, ladies, here's a little tip that can, when you're looking for somebody, like, how come I can't find somebody who has no interest? Dating apps will make it easier because you can put your interest in the bio, so you can look at somebody's bio and say like, okay, he's interested in this, interested in that. But it also, physical attraction is the first thing that comes first. That's the first thing everybody sees. So you got to be attracted. That's hands down one. So for her, maybe the dude she's talking to is just not attracted to her. That sounds mean, but just it's reality. But good thing for her, there's also 100,000 people out there that she can meet on a dating app, like, and she can find somebody who find her attractive, but also be willing to get roasted by her or go back and forth with her watching a football game. Like, there are guys out like that's not that hard. Sports is not a hard way. Like, it's super. I don't know. Like, at least every guy has some knowledge of sports, and there'd be dudes like, I'm not a sports guy, but they at least could be like.
Yeah, I'm not super into sports. I mean, it's just not something I was ever like really into. That being said, I absolutely will watch the Chiefs play because I absolutely love supporting Kansas City, especially supporting the Chiefs and watching Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce just, dunk on everybody. I'm all about that. And I know enough about football and I know enough about baseball. And I know enough about, hockey where I can at least sit and enjoy a game with friends.
Yes. And so there's like right there, right? He's a good example where you just say you're not a huge sports guy, but yet you can have a conversation with a girl who like, oh my gosh, I love the Royals, and you're like, all right, let's go to a Royals game.
I would love to go to a Royals game.
Let's go have fun.
Yeah.
Like, so for her, it's not gonna be hard for her to find that dude. She just might have to date somebody who is older, who's looking for more than that. He's looking for more intimacy. He's looking for, I said that wrong, but looking for more intimacy and looking for more connection than just the physical attraction of a girl. He's looking to like settle down. He's looking for that person who's like, I want this bond that can last forever versus she's hot.
Yep.
And every guy, not say every guy, but majority of guys will go through that phase where she's hot. And heck, movies do it all the time. We talk about that dude who's like, I went after the hot chick and realized the love of my life was the nerdy chick in the corner.
She takes off the glasses and she's hot too.
There's a reason why that trope gets played in movies because it's true. But at the same time, as a lady, don't go chasing that guy like, oh, I need to get him. If he doesn't recognize you or appreciate you after the first or second attempt, all right, I'm gonna go find the dude over here. And then movies also have that trope where the guy wants the girl who's nerdy, or he finds out the hot girl is actually nerdy, and then she's dating the super. We can talk about movies like that too. That's a whole nother topic. But that's her question. But yeah, that's what it is. So for her and ladies, you find dudes who are like going after attractive women. Maybe you have to just date up, which I guess women don't mind dating up anyway. But that's probably where you'll find your more older dudes who are looking to be more of a committed and find that bond and find that intimacy versus just she's hot.
Yeah. There's more to life than just physical attraction. That may be the initial thing, but if you don't have anything in common, it's going to be much much harder to have fun with that person, and that's where the memories are going to be made.
All right, so this next one is from Alia Jubilee 7. I probably just slaughtered your name. I'm sorry. She started with why do men? So here we go.
Why do men just take the time to text hey to a woman like every single day?
Because they've gotten away with it before. They go hey, and then some woman goes, hey, how you doing? And then they engage. You don't have to do this. You really don't. You mind if how old you are?
Oh, I'm 37.
37.
Yeah, I look like 16, but yeah.
No, I mean you look a lot younger than that. But let me explain something to you. Why y'all put up with this? You're in your 30s. The hell you texting for? Excuse me. I do verbal communication. Click. Text him back. I do verbal communication to get to know who people really are. Send. That's it. A guy texting you, hey, you don't got to justify that. You ain't got to respond to that, man. A man's supposed to talk to a woman. Man's supposed to have a conversation with a woman. You can't learn a guy through...
It's just kind of always going off. Thoughts on that?
I see two kind of thoughts on that. Like, on the one hand, if you are comfortable with somebody to be able to text them back and forth, I've been able to carry on some really good conversations through text. And it really just depends on the other person. And if there's that compatibility. On the other hand, if you're really interested in somebody, you're going to take the time to call them. Maybe not all the time, but I mean, for me, I work in a call center. So, being on the phone is kind of my whole job. I don't always want to be on the phone.
When you get home, I understand that.
Yeah, right. You just don't want to be on the phone anymore. So I get that, but when you actually want to talk to somebody, you actually want to be around somebody, you'll make the time to call them and talk to them and actually have a conversation. Because even if you are the best texter in the world, even if you are engaging each other back and forth and having really good conversations over text, there's something about having a phone call and just hearing somebody's voice and having that back and forth. It changes the flow of conversation and it becomes a more intimate conversation at that point. And again, since a lot of what we're talking about today is based around intimacy, that's important.
Yeah.
It's important to start developing that, especially if you're trying to pursue that person.
And a phone call, hearing somebody's voice is more intimate than just a text.
Yeah.
Like, just being honest. And why do guys do it? Like Steve Harvey said, because we've gotten away with it, but also because it's a lazy approach. Hey. Like, in more dating apps, she probably, because she's 37, single, probably, don't really know her situation, but the reason why she's like, why do guys keep doing this? Dating apps, the guys get away with, hey. Eventually, that dude who just constantly saying, hey, one or two things gonna happen. A girl's gonna respond to him, he's gonna just take that like, all right, this is what I get. Or he gonna realize girl's not responding to hey.
Change his approach.
Maybe talk about something that's on her bio. Maybe talk about something she put there that's like, oh, I like to go fishing. Oh, okay, let me put that in there. I like to go fishing too. What's the biggest fish you caught? To open that conversation up to them more than just hey. Really, where you see most hey at is gonna be from dudes hitting them late night. Because now the guy's hitting them late, he's not gonna say hey in the morning, he's gonna say good morning. If he's gonna respond to you in the morning, or how's it going? If he's gonna respond throughout the day, he's not gonna be like, hey.
Yep.
Why you hitting me up at hey at 9 o'clock at night? And on top of that, like dating apps, you'll get that hey more often. So Steve, advice works for somebody, you get the number talking to them, but as far as dating apps goes, that advice don't work if a dude, or if you even go on a dating app, like when I was on Bumble, a girl would hit me up with hey, I was like, I'm not responding to that. I give you a whole thing you can go through and at least try to start a conversation with other than a hey or a GIF. You send me a GIF, I'm definitely not responding to you. So, ladies, if a guy hits you with hey, I would say you can go and have a conversation back with him, but he most likely might not give you a full-fledged conversation and probably just somebody you shouldn't entertain. But that's for dating app wise. In person, Steve Harvey said, I will respond to you via call. Give me or call him. Like say, hey, what are you doing? Like, hey, like have a conversation with him versus just text.
I feel like if a guy is hitting you up with hey, he's playing a numbers game. You know, if I text hey to 20 women, one of them is bound to talk to me. And yeah, it is a lazy approach. You know, if you're gonna text somebody, put some oomph into it, some personality. When I was on dating apps, I used to ask icebreaker questions, and it'd just be like goofy off the wall questions, like if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be, or you know, something random like that, just to start a conversation that's a little more lighthearted and a little more fun, creative. Don't just say hey.
Right.
That's lame.
That is. All right, next video here. This is from TMI Pod. So why do boys do this?
Why do boys want you so much when they can't have you, but when you eventually say, look, okay, relationship, whatever, you can have us, they don't want you anymore?
Sometimes the anticipation is better.
It probably is like the talking stage. A lot of people probably get really like excited by that. It's something new.
You brought me flowers today, and like that's something that it's like
not me.
I think that's really nice. Like that, I've just woke up and they were like flowers, and I was just like, oh.
I'm so hard though, aren't I?
I'll bring you pastries.
It's like a give and take relationship, isn't it? Flowers, sausage rolls.
Yeah, I'm a gift giver. I like gifts.
You like giving?
I like receiving as well, but I just like gifts.
You like receiving and giving?
I like giving and receiving gifts. Stop it.
What? What? Okay, the question was,
why do boys want you so much when they can't have you, but when you eventually say, look, okay, relationship, whatever, you can have us, they don't want you anymore?
Sometimes the anticipation.
Some said anticipation, but like they went to a whole thing. So apparently date, but they went to a whole thing about them, you know, giving each other gifts like that. And flowers. I have no idea what that last part had to do with anything. But his question, why do boys, you know, keep chasing when they can't give you? Then when a girl actually gives in, like, okay, I'm done, I'm moving on, or I want a relationship, I'm moving on. What are your thoughts? 'Cause I have a thing about that.
I mean, first of all, I don't think it happens all the time. I certainly don't think it happens often enough to say, like, why do they always do this? I think if it is happening, it's because that person has finally accepted the fact that they are not going to be able to have you, and they have just moved on. They have just decided, you know, they want peace in their life. They're going to find someone who wants them. And really, it's not fair to sit there and expect somebody to want you, and just keep kind of throwing yourself at them when they've made it clear they don't want to be with you, not in that regard. why would you want to stick around? Why would you want to keep pursuing that person?
Right.
Move on.
Good point. And another thing to take from that, he's like, when the girl said, I want a relationship, the dude's like, oh, I'm out. Mm-hmm. Well, she just defined what she wanted. So this is in the talking phase, but then you're talking phase, the dude won't be chasing like that. He's not gonna be chasing like, oh, I want you, I want you, I want you. And then she's like, nah. And then, oh, hey, I do. Let's do a relationship. No dude's like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. I didn't want a relationship. I just want to say I want to get to know you, get to talk to you, and move forward.
That's different.
Versus like, oh, let's hop right into a relationship. Yeah, he's gonna be like, I don't even know. I really want to be in a relationship with you. Yeah, I find you attractive. I'll hook up with you, but I don't know I want to be in a relationship with you. So I'm going to walk away. Mm-hmm. You know, all this chasing he was doing, now this, I feel like a lot of videos we hit maybe the perspective of like of the guy who just talk to girls to hook up with, and versus like, hey, I want this, and this is somebody who. So he could do the same thing, like been a guy who was like, I just want to hook up with women, and then all of a sudden the girl's like, no, I want a relationship. And like, oh, I'm out. Mm-hmm. I don't want a relationship with you. Mm-hmm. So I'm down to hook up. I don't want a relationship with you. She defined the relationship, or he made a statement where the lady defined a relationship, and he was out, and that's perfectly fine. But back to it, like. That dude he wanted to hook up, or he wanted the ideal of like, I want to take you on dates, I want to do all these things, but I don't want that relationship. Mm. And when the relationship gets brought up, he's like, all right, I don't want that. Now, I don't think those dudes are chasing though. Like you said, that doesn't happen often. They're not chasing.
Yeah.
They already have it. Mm-hmm. It's just that, okay, do I make the decision to commit or not commit? And I'm working through that. Like, is it I want to move further with this person, or I don't want to move further with this person? Mm-hmm. And when do you think a guy understands when he wants to move forward? Like, how quickly does it trigger in your mind? And I can get my thoughts on it when the dude's like, all right, I want a relationship with this person, or no, I don't want a relationship with this person.
I guess it just kind of depends on context too. If it's somebody that you've already like known for a while, you've been friends with, I feel like you would have a pretty good idea relatively quick. You know enough about this person to know, yes, I'm going to enjoy this relationship, or no, we're not compatible. I think if it's somebody you don't know, there is a little bit more time that it's going to take to kind of make that choice. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so somebody you know, if it's somebody you know, I think I context is right on that, because somebody you know, depending like how long do you know them for, mm-hmm. and then what aspect of them that you know about. Yeah. Do you see them at work? Do you see them outside of work? Do you see them around? Do you see them like it's somebody you just meet and they're kind of a lifelong friend that you never got out of the friend zone with? If you haven't got the friend zone, let's say you guys are in your 20s and you haven't got the friend zone, then it's okay to move on. It's not okay to sit there and like try to chase and be like, all right, heck, I'm gonna start this relationship with you, but also get taken into account if you do that, the likelihood of it going, working out, mm-hmm. It's slim. It's not saying it's not impossible, but it's slim that it's gonna work out. So you gotta be ready for like, okay, we break up, what life looks like with me and you as not partners, or with you not in my life. Like, what does that look like? Versus somebody you get to know, it can take a lot longer. But I've been somebody who rushed. So for me, somebody didn't know after like 2 or 3 weeks of talking to him, like, let's start a relationship. Let's get into become boy. Let's define a relationship as boyfriend, girlfriend, and then all of a sudden, 4 months down the line, it's a breakup because I rushed into it versus taking my time to really get to know that person. So older me is like, take your time, mm-hmm. give it 4 months, give it 3 months, give it 2 months before you like, I want to see this as a relationship.
Yeah.
Versus younger me who was like, hey, I don't see anybody else, let's lock this up right now, versus dating around and see maybe this person not as compatible with you, because a relationship is a very serious thing. Mm-hmm. You don't want to play around with that. So as a guy, you're like, okay, relationship, the mindset of a guy is, all right, relationship, then marriage, baby, or relationship, baby, marriage, or actually messed up, had a baby first. So let's go ahead and make this a relationship, and then marriage, kind of make it work for the kid. But that's what we're thinking about. We're like, okay, if we do this, it's not just not every dude out there who's gonna play around, but if a serious guy, he's not gonna play around and take that relationship lightly. There are dudes who are like, oh no, I'm just doing it because of her. You don't want a guy, you don't want a dude to date you and start a relationship with you because you asked him. You want him to ask you to be in a relationship with. Mm-hmm. But don't pressure a guy. I think that's one thing that happens. We get pressured, or not we, but like men can get pressured into a relationship and they're not ready for it.
Yep.
They get pressured into like, well, I guess I should do this because it's the next step, versus saying like, do I really want to be with this girl? If a guy genuinely wants to be with this girl, he's going to say yes if he truly cares about her to a relationship. We're going to be like, no, I'm getting out because I do not want to put you through that situation where I know for a fact I won't generally be happy. I'm just doing it because I want to placate you. But in reality, I'm miserable as fuck. Like, a guy, if he's thinking about it, he's old enough, he will say yes to an actual relationship with somebody he genuinely cares about. We're going to say no if he still cares about them, but he understand that compatibility-wise and chemistry-wise, we're just not together. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Or, even better, an older guy or somebody who's got a little more experience, who's got, different priorities, he might say, not yet. Give it some time. Let's enjoy what we're doing right now. Let's get to know each other a little bit better. Let's make that decision after, another month. Or another couple dates, or whatever.
That's a smart way to go about it too. Like, I'm not ready for a relationship now. I appreciate you bringing this to me. Like, let's go back to it. And then, ladies, up to you to be like, all right, well, I can wait if I want to, or I'm moving on because I don't have time. Not saying time is no fact, but like, I don't want to waste my. It's not gonna be nice to say, but yeah, I don't want to waste my time. Ladies, it's up to you to say that or not. Like, but that's a smart way to go about it too. The guy's like, I'm not ready for a relationship right now, but
I could be.
Give me a month. Give me let's talk about it again. But he's saying this every month that comes around, or every like 6 months go by, and then a year go by, and he's like, interested. Yeah, no, he's definitely
he's stalling.
That's a good way to put it. All right, last video here from TikTok, and then we're going to get into Am I the Jerk from Reddit. This is from It's Kate Hill, and let's see what she has to say.
Right, okay, so I just got back from the gym, so don't mind this. Also, the archetypal universe just arrived, so very excited about that. But I have a question for you fellas out there. So as I was walking home from the gym, across the street, walking towards me, was a very attractive man. And I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe this is an opportunity to, I don't know, try to put myself out of my comfort zone and say hello or do something. So, long story short, we cross the street and I chicken out. I don't do anything. So my question to you is, does it make it easier for you guys to make the first move if we have like a little smile at you, or we wave, or something to give you like the, hey, I see you there, kind of thing? Does that make it easier for you guys to, if you're interested, talk to us first? Yeah, let me know. Right, okay.
Okay. I definitely have some thoughts on that. For some people, giving some kind of signal that you are wanting someone to kind of pursue you, that might work. It's kind of a weird, I guess, kind of a weird world we live in right now. For me, I may not even get that hint. And maybe some of that has to do with, context. If I'm just seeing somebody like at a bar, out on the street, wherever, I might take the opportunity to go and talk to you at that point. But outside of that, it might be a little bit tricky. I know some situations, like if you're going to the gym and, you're talking to a trainer or something like that, and, that can be a little bit tricky. Are they being friendly, or are they just being at work and they're just being friendly because they're working, stuff like that. So I think if you want a guy to talk to you, you could always just talk to him. I think that's a big thing. There's a lot of expectation that men have to kind of make the first move. But with kind of the climate that we live in right now, where, you know, there's a lot of, I think a lot of backlash for men who do kind of, they might get the wrong hint, or they might try to pursue somebody and then, you know, that person had absolutely no interest in them. You know, that can be a very painful rejection if that person just absolutely did not want anything to do with him. I think, again, if you want somebody, go talk to them. You know, let him know that you're interested in him, because we might not always get the hint. And I can really only speak from experience on that. That's just me.
Yeah, no, the hint thing, like, it would go over her head. Like, a girl's like, well, I looked at him. I gave him the eyes, and like, I completely missed that.
Yeah, I'm stupid, so.
Or waves, like, hi, like that, like, I would take it like, oh, she was being friendly. She's not really being genuinely interested. Especially on a way where you're walking past each other like that. Like, one, that's like a romance movie, rom-com kind of situation where you're like, oh, we walked past each other and I ran back around. Like, hey, I have to, like, if that guy that she saw and he wanted to talk to her, he probably wouldn't have done it in that first instance. Matter of fact, he might, if they work out in the same gym, it might be 2 or 3 times where they come across each other and he's like, you know what, I keep seeing her, I might go approach her, but he's not going to approach you in the middle of a workout. He's not going to approach you. He might try to, like, not wait, but like if you guys happen to come across each other, y'all going into the gym or walking out of the gym at the same time, is when that approach might come. But if you're walking past them and you're just like, oh, what did I do to what did I say to him? I think if she would have said, like, go up and talk to her, like, hey, I just came from the gym, or you head to the gym, like, just give me the heads up, it's packed in there, to open that conversation up, and from there he might take it like, oh, she's trying to talk to me, but in reality, he's gonna be like, oh, she's being friendly.
Yeah.
Which, women don't really come up to strangers that often, I guess, like a dude that she doesn't know by herself. So he might take it as a sign, but most likely the dude is not going to do it. It has to be like familiarity, and he has to see her so many times before he like get comfortable enough to go up and say hi. And maybe after a few times they'll make an eye contact, maybe a few waves, like, hey, you always say hi to me. You know, what's your name? Like, that will open it up. But just a once in a life, like not once in a lifetime, but one of those moments where you just pass each other, going one way and the other way, for her to stop him and say like, hey, you know, how's your day going? What are you doing? Kind of thing. But I know she was going on her own too. Matter of fact, I might play the next video. I know we're gonna say just one more and then go, but she does come back around this next video here. So
okay, then let's come at this from an entirely different perspective. Quick context, I asked the question, is a smile and a wave enough to break the ice to let a guy know that you would like to talk to him? The answers are mixed. Answer unclear. So let's try to reimagine the scenario that I described. Basically what happened was I was about to cross the street. On the other side of the street was a very attractive man. I wanted to do something to strike up a conversation, but I chickened out, and so I was like, okay, how can I make this easier for myself in the future? And the way that I thought about making it easier was, okay, what if I just do a little smile and a wave, and maybe that'll be enough of an icebreaker for the person to at least talk to me. Now, I still think this works, but again, let's try a different idea. What would I have to do if I was crossing the street and I saw a man? And do I stop traffic? Do I plant my feet in the middle of the crosswalk to be like, hey, I think you're really cute and I want to talk to you. Hey, what's up? Or do I do something silly and I turn around and I start walking with him in the opposite direction? I'm like, you just look like you needed help crossing the street. Do I throw an invisible lasso at him and draw him towards me? Let's say this is the dream scenario. Let your imagination run wild. You see a woman coming towards you who you think is attractive. What do you want her to do in that situation if you're both crossing the street? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, then let's...
I liked the I think you just needed help crossing the street. That would be the winner for me.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think icebreakers definitely a good way to get a dude talking. Like, there's another video where a girl goes, she's like, hey, there's always spring water. How come there's no winter water? It's like she had a bottle of water. She's like, it's always spring, but there's never no winter. And she said the dude she said it to just looked at her like, get away from me. And like the right guy would find that hilarious. And like that would be a good icebreaker, which I'm like, that's a good one. No, that like I had to me walking across like that.
That's great.
I'd be like, well, your boat is all get out. Okay, who are you? Like who I just got off camera here, but who are you? Like I'd be like, okay. At first, no, you had my curiosity. Now you got my attention. Like, for a girl to show that like she's interested, like I feel like she had to be blunt like that. She has to be like goofy enough to say something that would throw me off guard. Like, oh, you're not just being friendly. You actually want to open up a conversation and see where it goes. And maybe that conversation be 5 minutes and then get numbers exchanged and leave. But that was a good one. That icebreaker.
If you want to be even less subtle, I feel like a smile and a wave is probably too subtle. Mm-hmm. But if you actually say hi, it's going to force somebody else to also, well, ideally, with manners, that person is also going to say hi back. and at that point, there's a dialogue, and you can kind of build on that dialogue. A smile and a wave, I think, is just too subtle.
It's too.
And I wouldn't get the hint, probably. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe after this video I might strike it.
I'm looking like, oh, she smiled and waved at me.
She obviously wants me.
She obviously wants me. Maggie brought up the eye. She's like, if you're in a situation, let's say you have brunch with your friends and there's a table full of ladies or with her friends and they're looking, you come across a girl, eye contact like 2 or 3 times. And not because you're just sitting directly in front of her, so she's have to look at you.
Right.
But like if like y'all both like catty corner like this way and that way, you like having a look and y'all like make eye contact. Mm-hmm. She's like, maybe after the 3rd time, try to find your way to get over there to say hi, because the eye contact was like, the contact that she was like giving the signal. She's like, a girl won't look at you the whole way. She will look and probably look away. Y'all make eye contact by mistake. She's like, just try to look away, not looking at everybody. Y'all keep making eye contact. Mm-hmm. She's definitely peeping you.
Okay.
She go say hi. But when you're passing each other like that, a quick smile and wave, like, nah, like. And maybe because the girl be like, man, I know her, maybe I don't know. A lot of people. There's a lot of people. Alright guys, now it's time for Am I the Jerk from Reddit. So this first one is, am I a jerk for dating normally?
Dating normally? What?
Yeah. So, I'm not sure what TA mean, but TA account. I, male 29, have been dating a girl I like she's a female 26, for 4 months. She is a nurse, paramedic, and I work in a bank. Since we started dating, we would see each other every week, once or 2 nights, but after a month, it became more so usual, 3 to 4 nights a week, at hers or mine. Sometimes if she is on call, I don't see her for a few days because it disturbs my sleep too, and she feels bad for it, but if it's not busy for me, I haven't minded. We talk every day and say goodnight every day by message, and I initiate a lot of it. I'm happy with the time we spend together, and she seemed to be too. When we first started dating, we had sex on the 3rd date. Would you look at that?
3 dates.
We discussed, we were both STD tested and clear since our last encounter. Okay. Fast forward to now, and she was feeling a bit under the weather and got a test, and it was positive for chlamydia and HPV. Okay. I have continued seeing some old friends with benefits when she's been away, and on nights we are not together, and now she is saying I'm an a-hole, as one of them gave them to me. They have also been treated, and I have too. I have said we never defined a relationship, that I am poly and ENM, so ethically non-monogamous, and she said she thought us being together that time meant we were more serious, and I let her on and risk her health and lied to her by not disclosing. But I said that's normal now, and you shouldn't assume everyone is only dating you.
Okay.
Hold on, we're not done yet.
Oh.
She has to have a GYN test to monitor the HPV. She never asked me if I was seeing anyone else. I never asked her if it was none of my business. This is just normal until we define it. And I was thinking we would eventually, but wasn't ready then, or wasn't ready just then, and wanted more time. I like her and I don't want to lose her. Am I the jerk?
Yeah. Yeah, you're a jerk.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Look, first of all, if you have multiple sex partners, you should be telling your partner that you have multiple sex partners, and again, defining the boundaries. Even if you're not in a relationship, there are going to be some people who aren't comfortable with the idea of having multiple sex partners or being with somebody who has multiple sex partners for that reason, because that is a very real possibility. So yeah, you not telling somebody, you not informing, even if you weren't lying, you failed to fill somebody in on something that was actually really important and has now become a detriment to her health. You're lying by omitting important information. You're still a jerk.
1,000%. 1,000. Okay, first week, you don't have to re-say that. Like, once you feel like you're getting serious, you said you've been spending the night with her at least 3 to 4 times a week. 3 to 4 times, that's majority of the week. You've been spending the night with her. She's been coming to your place. It's been 4 months. I'm just gonna write this out and not define a relationship. We expected her to be like, hey, what are we? Like, dude, you're ethically non-monogamous. That's something you should tell somebody right off the back so they understand what they're getting themselves into. Yeah. She was under the assumption that, okay, well, we spent all this time together. We are in a serious relationship. We're having sex. We're in a serious relationship. Back to earlier in our episode, how we talked about, like, a guy will keep writing it out until you tell him, like, hey, I want a serious relationship. I want to be in a serious relationship. What are we? This man, he's gonna keep writing it out. He's like, oh, I'm gonna bring it up, but I didn't feel like I need to.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and I will say, like, the only part that I could see that maybe she could have handled this a little bit differently is having that conversation with him before. I think that there wasn't communication, and that failure to communicate led to, some of this. I don't think it's her fault.
No.
I still think that he's the jerk here, but I can see where sometimes that failure to communicate can cause some unease in that situation.
But even like I would have been trying to ask, and maybe the dude was just writing out. Maybe he was a dude who just wanted sex, and he was like, he writing out, like, I'm ethically non-monogamous and I'm poly. Do the other women know you're poly?
Yeah.
Like,
does everybody know?
Yeah, because you're not telling everybody. That's something you need to be upfront with right off the bat to say, heads up, I'm poly. I'm not sure. That's first date material. That's first date information. To know, like, hey, I'm poly. Give me a heads up, and I'm ethically non-monogamous. So therefore, I'm going to talk to other people and pursue a relationship with other people. Are you okay with being one of the people I pursue a relationship with?
Yeah.
Right then and there, you're good. But you came back, gave her an STD because you're not using condoms.
Yeah. So if you're poly, but you don't tell anybody you're poly, guess what? You're not poly. You're a cheating a-hole. So,
God.
Surprise.
Yeah, no, you are a jerk. Don't try to put this on here like, I'm not a jerk for... Yeah, 1,000%. Like, what are you thinking?
By the way, TA account, throwaway account. People make accounts that they'll never log into again so they can ask questions anonymously like that. By the way, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, you're a jerk on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he is.
All right. Let me see how long this one is. Okay, perfect. Am I the jerk for dating my sister's ex? This argument between me and my sister has been growing on for years. God dang, how long y'all been dating? Basically, my sister and my now current boyfriend dated about 6 years ago. It didn't last very long, maybe 5 months. Eventually, me and him met at the state fair, and we were perfect for one another. We both love surfing, hiking, and generally being outdoors. So we started dating. When my sister found out about this, she was absolutely furious, and she said she still had feelings for him and hoped to get back together. She said even if she didn't have these feelings, you never are supposed to date your sister's ex. Well, after all this time, she still won't talk to me. I tried reaching out on multiple occasions, but she is still pissed off at me. I love my boyfriend. We lived together since we went to college, and everything is going great. The topic of marriage has even been brought up for the future. Okay. I don't want this argument to last any longer. Should I apologize? I don't think I should because I don't feel I did anything wrong. But if I did, could you explain what it was?
So, I don't know. Like, all right. So, did you know that the phrase "blood is thicker than water"? That's not the actual full phrase. "Blood is thicker than water" implies that your familial bonds are more important than the bonds that you make with people who aren't your family. Okay. However, the full saying is actually the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, and it is actually the meaning is completely opposite. It's the bonds that you form with other people that you choose to form are stronger than the familial bonds that you have. So I feel like this is kind of that situation where something like that is important. Yes, that's her sister, and you guys grew up together. However, you are choosing to form a relationship with somebody who you found compatibility with and your sister did not. Or at the very least, your sister's ex did not feel compatible with her, whatever the situation is. I do feel like maybe there's some details that are being left out, like the I guess what happened to the relationship that caused it to fall apart. So I feel like those are important details that haven't been established. So without those details, I feel like maybe we can't say definitively one way or the other. Given just the story, I would say not the jerk.
Really?
I would say not the jerk.
I would say she is to an extent.
Okay.
She could have told her sister from day one, I'm interested in so-and-so. I'm interested in your ex. I know y'all dated 6 years ago. I want to go talk to him. And just give you the heads up. I just want your thoughts on it. I'll take into consideration, but I feel like we have a better chemistry, connection, compatibility, and I really want to see where this goes. I want to talk to him. At least give her the heads up so she's not like blindsided by it. And then to add to it, she said I still have feelings for him. What is he doing to not squash those feelings, or at least not let that ember keep growing? Now I understand you can't tell somebody else how to feel, but he could have did something where he's like, I don't have feelings for you. I don't want to, I don't see us moving further, or I don't see us ever getting back together. This is where I stand. Like, I love your sister. We just bumped into each other to stay fair. It's been going great. I understand we have a past. Like, he could have done something where she would not be still holding on to this ideal that guy could be an option for me down the road.
Okay.
That's a thought where I'm like, okay, when she said that, like I said, I have feelings for him, like what did he not do to say like, we're done? Or maybe he's the one who broke up and then just said, we're done.
So counter argument to that, why are we assuming that it wasn't that he squashed it? It's very possible that the sister could just still be harboring feelings despite what the ex-boyfriend has already said. Like, look, he could have said, we're done, it's not happening. It's very possible that the sister is just holding on to those feelings and she's refused to let go. 6 years is a long time.
It is.
Now, if this were a situation where it was like the next week, yeah.
100%, yes.
Yeah. But 6 years is a long time. It's a long time for people to grow and change, and ideally a long time for you to get over those feelings.
Right.
But if you're still holding on to them after 6 years, I don't know if it's necessarily because of something that he has done. It's very possible it's just she's still holding on to it, refusing to let go. So, yes, I see your point where she should have at least talked to her sister about it beforehand so the sister wasn't being blindsided. However, I feel like even if she did, the conversation would have gone about the same. So, what's everybody else think?
Oh, okay. You're the jerk. You're in a crappy sister. You realize he wasn't worth losing your sister over, but then it'll be too late. God forbid. You don't deserve a sister. Wow. You're the jerk. I bet you knew she would have a problem with it before you did. I wouldn't talk to you either. God dang. I'm surprised you have asked. I'm very surprised. I don't think she is a jerk, though. The sister has done with her. The sister was done with the relationship. They met each other, dated, and worked out. It's not as if malicious. I think just a weird situation.
Scroll back up real quick, because the original poster responded. Click on that.
Which one, the trailer?
Sarah Alexander.
Oh.
Yeah, click on the actual comment. Yeah, there you go. What was I supposed to do? Ignore my future husband? You're doubling down. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think she could have definitely let her sister know, like, this is what my intention. Okay. Oh, she came back. Okay. Okay, let's get this clear for starters. I never met my sister's boyfriend before me, and me and him met at the state fair. The only thing I knew is that my sister was dating a guy on the wrestling team. Once my sister found out about it, she ate it, which started this argument because I couldn't end the relationship because I was in love with him and she clearly wasn't. If she cheated on him, which led to their breakup. And
there it is. I feel validated.
Yeah, no, there it is. Like you just say, like I feel validated. Yeah, no, the sister's being a narcissist and being selfish. Now, the wrestling teams are what? They're in college now, so high school. Cause she's like, we're in college, the high school wrestling team. Like, yeah, the sister cheated, and maybe she feel guilt for cheating, and she's still holding on to like, oh, it's a good dude, I should let him go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that you reap what you sow.
It's true.
And the fact that like, I think the younger sister should just let like, hey, give me a heads up. I met your ex at the state fair. I want to start talking to him. Just give her like you. Versus her found out later and going more crap on it. Yeah, she's gonna go crap on it at first, but at least you got that out the way. So you have to like worry about her finding out later and then going off. But I don't think she's a jerk. I think to a certain extent she could at least let her sister know what was going on. That way her sister's not, well, you're dating my ex from 6 years ago, lady.
Well, and then based on some of the comments that she had made, it sounded like she never actually met the boyfriend prior to her meeting him there. So she didn't even know. Again, that's my understanding of it. She didn't even know going into this. I think that would have been important information in the original post, because I think that changes a lot of the context.
Oh, right, good point. Like the boyfriend probably said like, oh, I dated your sister. Like, huh. And the boyfriend, it's not the boyfriend's responsibility to go back and tell the sister that I'm dating your sister, but I think it is under the younger sister's responsibility to let her older sister know, I met so-and-so, we're talking.
Sounds like she did.
Well, no, she said
that she found out or something?
That she found out.
Oh, okay.
Which is different. My sister was dating the wrestling team. Once my sister found out about it, she went 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, she found out. You didn't tell her. You should have told your sister that this was going on. That way she's not blindsided by it. Like, oh, imagine your friend coming to you and say, hey, I see your sister or somebody else, your best friend, dating each other off in the corner over there. What? What do you mean?
I would be fucking shocked.
Yeah, like it'd been nice to know. Give you the heads up. How long y'all been dating? Like, yeah, it'd been nice to know that happened versus it just happened. Yeah. So I think she's a little bit, but not like for the sister going off. No.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay, let's see what's going on here. It's not a book, but this is the last one we do, guys. So, am I the jerk for ending it with my girlfriend? I, male, 25, and my ex, 27, female, have been dating for 7 years, and for the first couple of years, it has been great, no red flags at all. But now I'm finally realized I should have left a long time ago, 3 years ago. She got a job in a different city, and I'm fine with her going away as I work from, so we call a lot. What? Going away as I work from, so we call a lot and see each other 3 to 4 times a week. But a year
into her job.
I noticed the visits and calls decline. And every time I tried to visit her, she kept saying no, as she had something to hide. And when I finally got on call with her, I caught someone else in the corner of my eye, and I asked who it was, and my ex said it was a friend of hers. I asked to see her friend, and she said now, and I realized it was a man. After I ended the call, she called and texted me, blowing my phone up, saying how she can move closer to me and we could get couples counseling. And I had to agree in some way. I felt weird. I couldn't see what was going on around me, but now I realize then a month after it started to get better until we went out to dinner, and there was a notification on her phone for someone with a heart emoji on it called My Man. I asked her about it, and she pushed it off, and then it started getting clear why she pushed it off. So I left and just blocked her number and told her to F off because I'm done with this from her. So I'm in my apartment now just wondering, am I the bad guy? No,
you're not the bad guy. No, you were dating somebody who was actively cheating on you.
Yes.
And then you figured it out, gave her an opportunity to fix it, which, to be honest, you probably shouldn't have done that either.
Right.
That's not your mistake, because you just wanted to trust somebody.
Right.
And then she did it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think that one's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. I guess he feel like he's a jerk. He should have like ended it 3 years ago. Like, no, like. I guess he said no red flags. There's red flags. There's always red flags. It just depends on what flags are worth, like, I guess you're gonna ignore, and what flags you like. This is a deal breaker. Yeah. Apparently there's no deal breakers when y'all first started dating, which is great. First 4 years, amazing. Mm-hmm. And then she moved away, so maybe y'all love language just wasn't. Where y'all love language was physical touch and quality time, and when that got away, she was missing that void. Not saying she didn't. Not saying she did the right thing. She was completely in the wrong because she could have ended it too, but she did. And you guys just grew apart from each other. And she's like, "Oh, we need couples counseling." She was trying to find a way to not let her, I guess, try to amend the relationship, but no,
she was backpedaling at that point. She was. It sounded like she just didn't want to be alone, and it's kind of like what Ali was saying about love language being physical touch, quality time, and that suddenly becoming significantly less. She felt the need to fill that void, and then after realizing she was throwing away something real, she was trying to backpedal and trying to repair something that was irrevocably broken. So
you're right, and I think instead of sitting in the apartment asking if you're the bad guy, no, you just need to end it with your girlfriend. Yeah. Say, hey, 7 years been a fun run. It's gonna hurt. We tried counseling. We gave it our best. I love you, but we're not the right match for each other. We're just not that. I know 7. You're not, and don't feel like you're throwing 7 years away. Don't feel like that. 7 years is a good learning lesson for you. It's gonna be tough, but it's good to end it now versus waiting another 3 years.
So there's a phenomenon called a sunk cost fallacy, and it's that very idea that because you have dedicated so much time and effort into, for example, a relationship, you feel like that if you were to remove yourself from that relationship, that you're just throwing the last however many years away. In this case, 7. That is not. There's a reason it's a sunk cost fallacy, because it's a fallacy. It's not something that should be a consideration when you're making an important decision like that. Because yes, you are going to be, I guess, in a way, sacrificing those last however many years of your life. You're doing it so that way you're not going to set yourself up for failure for the next however many years forward.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. All right. 2 more, because it's going to wrap it up here, how we start this episode off. The first one we're going to talk about is, am I the jerk for liking models on Instagram? All right. I, 25 male, am dating a girl, 24 female, and have been together for almost 7 years. This relationship has been great for the most part, but there are some circumstances that have made me rethink my decisions to stay in this relationship. Okay.
This guy sounds like a jerk.
She has had terrible experiences dating other men in the past who have chronically cheated on her, even with some of her friends. I understand that those situations have undermined her self-confidence and trust in other people. In contrast, I'm not that type of guy who's messaging other girls or going out partying. I am an introvert who spends most of his time in the room studying and working from home. On occasion, I went out with my mom, who she knows, okay, and she has happened to pass through the same street this restaurant was on. She saw as I was next to the window, but she swore I was with another woman. Again, I was with my mom. I did not apologize for it, as I knew I was not doing anything wrong. Another time I mentioned I used to hook up with a girl who I ended up being friends with, because we decided we did not want a romantic relationship together. She moved to another country 8 months ago, but we kept in touch from time to time out of trust. I told my girlfriend that, okay, and she could not stand it, so I severed all communications with my friend in order to preserve the relationship. Not good. Yeah. All right, last weekend we went out to celebrate one of my friend's birthday. My girlfriend was sitting next to each other when I saw a notification on my phone. Used my pattern to unlock my security folder so I could receive notifications of that app. Why did you tell me that? The pattern I use, okay, whatever. All access to the phone is not necessary, but it is a her. From that moment, she swears she saw that I was hiding a conversation with another person. The cherry on top of the cake came on Monday as I was concentrated working on my computer and opened her IG story. It was a video of me playing guitar and some strings, saying some nice things about me, okay? However, I passed it quickly as I was not in the frame of mind to respond. As I kept working, she also knows that I like pictures of several hours prior to her post of an Instagram model and vegan activist I followed who wear underwear in public to draw attention to the cause. Okay, I must say that this particular image was not activism, but I mindlessly liked the photo, okay, and did not even remember doing so. She lost it, as in the past she accused me of doing things behind her back and saying that I'm not attracted to her anymore. But she has showed me photos of shirtless Shawn Mendes, who, while mentioning how gorgeous and sexy he is, I like one photo. Wait a minute, this is a lot, dude. Get out. You already stated early in the post that you're rethinking a decision to be in a relationship from terrible, and you're allowing her self-consciousness and her issues with her past relationship and trauma affect your relationship. She has to go work on that, and she can't trust you enough to be in this relationship. Then you shouldn't be there. You don't want somebody who's going to be there and just hover over you, make sure you cut off your friends that are female. That's not healthy. You're not in a healthy relationship. You have to get out, and she has to work on herself.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. See, this is a weird one. I feel like, and this could just be my natural distrust of people in general, which is something that I'm trying to work on, but I feel like maybe that there are some details that are not being given. So one detail is that why is his notification in the secure folder? Let's see. Yeah. So unlock my security folder so I can receive notifications of that app. So when you're putting things in your security folder, it kind of gives the impression that you're hiding something, which is a very common assumption to make. So I don't think your girlfriend is really outside the realm of what a common concern would be, given that you've got it hidden away. On top of that, I feel like if you guys have been together for, how long did they say they were together?
7 months.
Okay, so 7. I mean, it's not like a super, super long time, but I feel like it's long enough to have at least established some boundaries. Mm-hmm. If this was somebody that you wanted to be with, and if you were willing to work through these insecurities with her, then I think that, yes, there would have to be some give and take. Like, maybe not liking other women's Instagram photos. Now, where I think the big issue is that this is all centered around her insecurity. Mm-hmm. But you have a choice. And again, you know how insecure she is. She's expressed how insecure she is. And you're still willing to stay. Then again, that is a choice that you have made. That's kind of where I'm at. Getting rid of female friends, I don't think is that was a bad move. Because that's now we're moving away from insecurity into the realm of controlling. Mm-hmm. And that's where things start to get a little bit more abusive. But with everything else, I feel like it's a combination of not enough information and, while she isn't perfect by any means, you did make the decision to be with her after 7 months. Yeah. And continue that relationship with her. And get out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, get out. Like, I don't even think the Instagram post wasn't a thing. It's just a relationship about trust. Get out.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, one last one to wrap it up. That's going to kind of tie back into the first part of this episode. We did that other one from the guy's perspective. Well, this is a different perspective. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Sam's going to read it this time.
So this one comes from the relationship advice subreddit. Am I the jerk? She's a 31-year-old female. My boyfriend continues to like half-naked pics of girls on Instagram, commenting heart reacts and fire emojis. Is it me being insecure, or do I have a legitimate reason to be upset? But this is when it makes me feel disrespected and not secure in my spot in life. I've continuously mentioned my uncomfortability regarding this in my relationship, as every previous relationship ended because my partner at those times cheated, and that's how it always started. It just seems he doesn't care about my feelings regarding this, and I've literally had to unfollow his socials just so I don't have to come across it anymore. At this point, I'm annoyed, and I feel communicating about it any further just isn't working. Part of me wants to end things because it's that upsetting to my peace. But does that make me an a-hole or an insecure woman? For context, I'm rather pretty. I know my worth. I just don't know if it's something I have to accept in relationships now. I've always been monogamous, and my one person is well enough for me to be satisfied. Just not when I'm receiving the same courtesy when I extend when it comes to temptations. So, I don't think you're the jerk. I mean, you're in a relationship, you've established a boundary, you've told him from the sounds of it, more than one occasion, that it makes you uncomfortable, and he's continuing to do it. That is a huge issue.
Yes.
That he clearly does not respect you enough to make that change for you. You shouldn't let it affect your peace. It should have been, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. Oh, okay. And then he does it again. Okay, well, now I'm done. And just move on. You're not a jerk. That is a very valid concern.
Right. Yeah, you're not a jerk. I play devil's advocate. And this dude, there's not really much advocating for him. Because you're right, you told him how it made you feel. And he was like, okay, and continue to do it. So he's in the wrong, 1,000%. Like, he should not continue to do it. Like, you have to unfollow him because of that. And you said all your other relationships started by, this online liking of models and so therefore he's finding somebody that's nearby. Well, not him, but those other dudes were talking to people that was in the area to become, cheating, or emotional cheating, wherever your definition of cheating is. You're like, hey, no, but you're like, should I expect the guy and like go out, because break up with him for one, that he's not
right
taking you into consideration, break up with him. Unless everything else, everything, like this man is treating you right, taking you out to dinner, doing all these things, taking care, like being considerate, intimate, all these things. He's doing all this, and this is the one red flag that's like the deal breaker, and this is the deal breaker. You have to end it. Like this is the one thing that you're like, everything else is right. I mean, good with kids, good with all this. Like, he is perfect across the board, but he's not like taking you in consideration when it comes to liking women on Instagram. Like, he wouldn't like as many, like, he wouldn't go follow new women on Instagram if he wanted to truly care about your feelings. Mm-hmm. I think you should end it with this dude. Like, he's 32 years old, you're 31, end it, it's okay.
Be done.
But when you go out into dating, you gotta understand that there will be other dudes who will follow women on Instagram. They're not gonna cut that off the moment you start dating them. Now, what you might see that they might not follow anymore, they probably will just keep it to those who they follow, and then they really feel like anybody person not adding value to their life on social media, and value as in like, are they bringing new workouts in, are they bringing new dishes or meals, or like, okay, this is what their journey is, or whatever case. If they're just fitness model taking pictures, like, for example, there's wrestlers, like I follow Nikki Lyons, she's one of them, she's a WWE wrestler. Well, there's time where she posts a bikini pic on her Instagram, but then there's also times she posts training videos and then her doing a wrestling move. So I'm like, I'm here for the wrestling. Yeah. Bikini pic, okay, that comes with it. Mm-hmm. But I was following her before I met Maggie. I didn't follow her after I met Maggie. But then there was one girl I was following, trying to think it was like some Instagram model I was just following, and I was like, why am I here? You don't work out, like, you're not showing workout videos, you're on the beach, must be nice. Unfollow. If a dude really appreciated his lady and realized, like, okay, he would look at the value that Instagram page is bringing him, which is something that people should look at, what value your pages you're following bring to you. And then realize, like, hey, this one here is just a booty pic. I want my girlfriend to send me a booty pic. So, no, I'm going to, like, unfollow and, hey, babe, can you send me a booty pic? Just ask for that. Yeah. Don't hurt.
Yeah. And on top of that, I mean, to Ollie's point, too, about, entering into a relationship with somebody who does follow Instagram models, whatever the case is, again, it all comes down to communicating what your boundaries are. Not imposing boundaries on other people, but rather just communicating, hey, this is the line, this is what I'm comfortable with. If you don't cross this line, we won't have problems. But in this case, she established that boundary. I'm not comfortable with you doing this, and he continued to violate that boundary. So there is no point in continuing the relationship. There is no point in putting yourself into a place where you are, hurting yourself mentally for a relationship. So, yeah, there's no reason to stick around. Just get out.
There you go. Well, guys, that's it for this episode. I do want to give some few pointers here. We are on Spotify now, so you want to listen to us on Spotify, listen to your ear as you're running or jogging. You can definitely do that now. It's just Nerdy Dating on Spotify. Like, that's all it is, Nerdy Dating. And also, you can send us a question. You can send to alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com, alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. You can send us a question there. I'll read on the episode, or you can put the question in the comment section below. Sam, thanks for coming back on to the episode, man. Appreciate
Happy to be
you.
here.
Other than that, see you guys next episode of Nerdy Dating, and keep being awesome. Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating you want to put in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me your dating question to my email of alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate you, and keep being awesome.